the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, his son and the producer. Now, tonight's title, Monsters. I've got a quick thought to share, but first, for anyone who's out there joining us, be sure to say something in the chat. Get to everyone in order here, and the first time there's no charge for readings, but going forward after that, you can pay $100 and cover the entire month, which gets you a card once per show, 3 times a week. That's normally Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Now, a quick thought that I would like to share is that monsters in life are as real as we make them. So, one thing my dad always told me as a kid going to scary movies was to watch the edges of the screen, right? And that is a good technique, I feel like, to be able to pull out and make those monsters a little bit less real or less loud. So I hope that makes sense. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. I start every show with lighting the incense, and I do this to send prayers on your behalf, energy on your behalf, to be able to, I'm going to shut my phone off, I apologize, but to be able to help you come into realization of your true self. So what that entails is stuff dropping off. Things that no longer serve you that we're really not even aware of. So the reason we chose the title Monsters tonight is when I was a child, I don't know about you, but we would play tag, or we would actually play monsters. We would play where somebody would be the monster and they would just be chasing us. And it was just this kind of excitement and this frantic, I've got to get away from the monster. It also had to deal with just this adrenaline rush that this idea of a monster chasing us gave us, but it was all in our imagination. And I'm not saying all fear today is in our imagination, but can we be a little bit more aware of what it is that we're creating and the fear that we're creating, and where is that fear coming from? So I talked to a client today. I'll give you an example. And for several weeks, he'd just been in a Zen mode, just moving forward, very calm, very happy. And then he spoke to a business partner of his who was freaking out over money, over things not working out. And he ended up literally, he said, Chris, I ended up literally in a fetal position on a concrete floor, bawling my eyes out. This fear is transmuted. It's like listening or sitting around a campfire and hearing about ghost stories or monster stories and getting caught up in the energy of that, rather than talking about fairies or elves or the beauty of the woods or how trees live. It can be focused on the fear. So the group card tonight, I pull a group card for everyone. So this applies to every one of us tonight on the show. It's called Star Power, Transmission, Recall, and Mission. How much of your mission is being wasted on fear that is imaginary? My mother used to say, worry never climbed a hill, worry never paid a bill, worry never done a thing you thought it oughta. But it's how we've been trained. If our parents were worriers, where did we pick that up? Not your circus, not your monkeys. And many times when I, by the way, if you're new on the show tonight with Sean, everybody welcome Sean, everybody welcome Mia. She's new as well. She's been on one other time, but she's still new. So everybody welcome the 2 new people that are on tonight. the reading isn't just about the information. It's about if you give authority to help clear that energy, that's what we do, my son and I. So it's a matter of moving out of the monster, being chased by monsters. And when I was a kid, let me give you an example. I used to have this reoccurring dream as a child, 2, 3, 4 years old, where I was being chased by Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy. And one day, I turned around during the dream. I turned around and said, "Stop it, or I'm sending my brother to kick your asses." I didn't say asses, but I'm going to send my brother to beat you up. And I never had the dream again. So if you get anything from this reading tonight and what comes up, it's the card that I pull or the reading that I give to you may also apply to other people on the show in a very unusual way. So thank you all for being here. And North Carolina is representing Maryland. Thanks for being on, first and foremost. And then we've got Houston, Laurel representing, Diane and Chandler, John in, he lives almost LA. He lives in way West Phoenix. Austin, Salt Lake, Jeff and Sean. Jeff, I know you're here in Chandler, but I'm not sure where Sean is. Kat and Jared in Tennessee, and Mia up north, Arizona. All right, my dear Marilyn. So I'm going to describe this movie scene to you. This will help you understand Marilyn. In Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I know it may have been a while since you've seen that movie, but it came out in the 70s. And it was about these aliens that chose certain people around the world to go with them and to be taught by them and to learn. And one of them was like a 3-year-old child. And the mother was trying to protect the child, obviously, because she didn't understand. But there's one scene in the movie where the UFO is hovering over the house. And all the doors and windows are banging. And the doggy door opens. And this light comes through. And this child's like, play, play. It intrinsically knows that this light and these beings are here to play. Toys, and he goes through the doggy door, and of course the aliens get him, and at the end of the show she does get her child back. But this journey to enlightenment, it is absolutely not airy-fairy bubblegum and candy canes. It is absolutely not that. It can be at times. But if we have grown accustomed to our monsters, when those monsters start to fall off, there can be this feeling of confusion or loneliness or depression, and even kind of sadness. Because we begin to realize I've carried this monster for 40 years or 20 years or whatever it is. And I could have gotten rid of this a long time ago. It reminds me of that commercial where the guy slaps his head and goes, "Oh my God, I could have had a V8. So this is a letting go. But you're moving into this new awareness, Marilyn. And so these feelings of, well, I have all these rocks and I've done all this work and I'm on every show 3 nights a week for 2 years. I'm getting these messages, and you're incorporating them into your life. But this certain level of awareness then begins to fill up, and this other stuff that no longer serves you begins to fall off. And it can feel sometimes like you want to curl up in a fetal position in a dark room on a concrete floor on a pile of dirty clothes. I've been there. But that's the stuff coming up to leave. So this is you moving into, and I'm gonna apply this to everyone on the show. Laurel and I had a really good conversation kind of about that this weekend when she came out from Houston to visit. And but there's this uncomfortableness about moving out of what we would call the norm. But if we want something more, that is required. It is absolutely required. Expect it. But you're not alone. You have my number. You have my instant messaging. Call me, text me, because I want to hear. This show is getting more and more. I'm able to share a lot more higher energy with you. And so I know, like Ashley, for instance, I'll give you this other example, was on the show last week, and I'm talking to her about stop putting up with playing your guitar out of tune. Well, I didn't know she played the guitar. And she'd actually been wanting to replace the strings on her guitar the week before because she had a guitar lesson coming up. But it was a metaphor of like, stop putting up with playing your guitar out of tune. And so, because you can get used to your guitar being out of tune, and you think it sounds great. So you're moving into a higher level. Understand that things fall off, and they need to. And are you willing to let go of creating your monsters? That could be worry, illness, money, whatever it is, move into the light. Okay. All right, my Laurel. Here we go. The best thing you can do, Laurel, is lose your mind. The mind is an incredible tool. But you don't use a hammer to open a can of beans. And a lot of times, and I'm not saying this is true with you, but people spend so much energy trying to hammer out a solution. And Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from the same place that it was created, which is here. So, moving out of your mind. When you get caught into trying to figure it out, okay, Laurel, you love music. I'm getting this song. Can you look up the song? Names, tags, labels, numbers. It's a song. It's a song from like the 60s, maybe the 70s. But Laurel, it goes names, tags, numbers, labels. This is letting go of names, tags, labels, and numbers. Did you find the song on that?
Albert Hammond?
Albert Hammond is the composer, the singer.
Let's get the lyrics and copy them.
He's just going to copy the lyrics for us so we all get the meaning of this.
That's pretty long.
What's a really long song? I know a man who drowns his sorrows in the cheapest booze. He knows he hasn't got that much to lose. Why no names? I know a man who speaks the language of another class. He sees nothing in the looking glass. Phony names, tags, numbers, labels. Other people teach you what you are. You believe them as a rule. While my name is, but my name for you is beautiful. Tags. I know a kid somehow the ball game doesn't interest him. Isn't his? It's not where it all begins. But anyway, look up this song. I mean, the song goes on and on. I'm not going to read it. But anywhere where you have labeled yourself or labeled your life or tagged your life as I should have more money. I should be with my soulmate. I need to, I have to. Names, tags, labels, numbers, and forget the age thing. Forget it. That's the numbers. So this is moving out of your mind, which is a gift. It's going to be a gift. You're going to be moving more into the heart. The compassion card came up for you the other night. This is that compassion card. This is you moving into your heart and your gut, and you've got an incredible gut. It's going to be increasing. Okay. All right, Diane, here we go. Letting go of the need to stand out. Letting go of the need to know. This is the ordinariness. This older woman is going to the orchard. Now, does she understand the cycles of the planet? How thermodynamics works? How cycles work, how nature all combines together. She's not a scientist. She just moves on and sees nothing as ordinary. I know the card is ordinariness, but it is a miracle. And that your life is a miracle. And who you are is miracle enough. It's not what you know or how you act or what you say. It has nothing to do with that. This is simply getting some herbs, getting some plants for the backyard, and growing and being out there every day, actually doing some planting, like working with the earth and understanding. There's something, I don't know what this is, but there's kind of an understanding or something that you're needing to get from this earth and getting back into, how we were raised. We were raised on a farm in northern Idaho. Lana, our cousin, had a ranch with her family. It's getting back to that ordinariness, just that simplicity, even if it's growing herbs in your own room. It's really something important for you to do. And there's something with oregano. All right, my friend John K. You don't need a special occasion to send flowers. Your sister is needing flowers. Can you look up geranium, the meaning of geranium? There's something with geraniums. Also, sending geraniums to Matt's wife. John had a very close friend. Matt passed away. I hope you don't mind me sharing that, John. But there's something with geraniums. Geraniums symbolize strength and determination. They're resilient and can bounce back even after experiencing tough conditions. You know what? Everybody, maybe if you can, run to Home Depot and buy geraniums tonight. I didn't know that, but there's something that there's this message that Matt is telling me to tell you to give to his wife, or send her geraniums and let her know what geraniums represent. I did not know that. Thank you, Ken, for looking that up. Okay, good. All right, Austin, here we go. So this is, Austin, the sorry, I'm looking for my notes. Because there's no coincidences about this card. It's called the Burden. If we're raised to be at fault, or if we're raised, or if there's conditions in our family when we're small, we've talked about this before, where children take on everything good that happens in the families because of them, everything that's bad happens because of them, and there's this burden or this blame, shame, guilt. Anywhere where your monsters are blame, shame, guilt, fault, then anywhere where you're creating blame, shame, guilt, or fault in order to validate that earlier upbringing, are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate all of that that is not yours, never really was yours to begin with? Because this guy's climbing a mountain. There's somebody riding his shoulders, telling him to go faster, go straighter, go harder. And then you've got this rooster, this cock on the, which is just it's like a rooster in the morning where it's constantly crowing, constantly running. This is you losing all of that and lightening your burden. Because the burden isn't yours, and that falling off. So I send you a lot of energy if you are willing, ready, willing, able, and safe to do that, to have that fall off. Because even when people have passed on, their words can echo in our brain like a monster. So this is clearing all of that. And your fear or upsettedness toward anyone else is really a fear or upsettedness toward you. So pay attention to what you're saying or what you're feeling about other people. Take a look at that and go, oh, you know what? I learned this from when I was growing up. And then that helps. Once you're aware of where it comes from, it's easy to let it go. It's easier to let it go because it's not yours. It's just getting this guy off your back. Okay?
He's talking about he was left out.
What's that?
Oh, that was his comment.
Yeah, so it's not about shame, okay, but it could be any one of those. That's why it wasn't specific with any of that, but it's like this anxious attachment. Okay. All right, and then we've got Jeff and Sean. Thanks again, Sean, for being on the show tonight. All right, Jeff. So when I do private readings, sometimes past lives do come up. But in this case, if you think about our lifetimes and how long any of us have been here on this planet, we've had different lives within this lifetime. Living with our families, not living with our families, high school, marriage, graduation, all of these different periods of our lives. The good times and the bad times. You're moving into a new era. You're moving into a new period where you're not having to worry about passing an algebra test. Because that was a past life. That was maybe during college or high school, right? You don't carry that algebra test over. You're done with that past life. That algebra class served some reason. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever used algebra after that college course. But my point is, I think you're getting my point. You're moving into a new period. Be aware of old thinking. So this is kind of like a build-up on Austin's card, where letting go of old thinking or how things used to turn out for you are not how they're turning out for you now. This is absolutely leaving the past in the past. You can glean the lessons from it, or the lessons that were valuable, but you're moving on. And you're moving on from your family. Kudos to detaching more and more and more from your family. Again, it's not that they're bad or wrong. They just it's like being around a campfire, the next day you still smell like campfire. It's getting that worry or that dread or that stuff on you. You're moving away from that, so there's huge kudos around that. And then look up the metaphysical meaning of dragon. You're having there's a, if you're just joining us on the show, Sean, Mia, I know this sounds strange, but there's a dragon around you. I don't know if you're thinking about using a dragon as a business symbol. But there's something, there's some, you have a dragon around you. But it's really good. Like it's, or what the dragon symbolizes. I think that's more of what I'm getting here. Could you look up what the symbol of a dragon is?
Yeah.
For the physical symbol. Yeah, so that's something, Jeff. So this is really, really powerful for you, and it's not. So a dragon doesn't. When a dragon meets a lesser animal, it doesn't become the lesser animal. It stays a dragon. This is you staying in your power and not succumbing to or needing to lower yourself or your standards or any of that to anything or anyone else. Okay, all right, Sean, here we go. So dragons symbolize personal power, primal energy, wisdom, strength, courage, self-realization. They signify a journey into the subconscious mind and a process of self-discovery and personal growth. Huh. There you go. If that's a fantastic reading for you, if we just spread that over the rest of the group, that's pretty awesome. All right, Sean. Thanks again for being on the show for the first time. All right. So, Sean, this is called clinging to the past. If you didn't like Brussels sprouts when you were a kid, and you keep telling yourself, I don't like Brussels sprouts, I don't like Brussels sprouts in your 20s and 30s, 40s, or whatever it is, have you tried them? And are you willing to let go of the belief system that you don't like Brussels sprouts? But have you tried them like in an air fryer where they're really crispy with a lot of salt and pepper? They're amazing. If you're willing, this is about. So the brain's number one job, Sean, is to protect you. And if you've been hurt in the past, I don't know, when Kenan was 7 or 8 years old, my son, the producer of the show, fell off a bike when he was 6 or 7. He never rode a bike until you were 18 again?
Yeah.
Huh? 22. Because he's I'm going to fall off and could get hurt. But it's not wrong or bad. It's just the brain's I remember what happened the last time you rode a bicycle? Remember the last what? You remember what? Remember what happened in the last relationship? Ooh, oy vey. Oh wait, remember what happened in the relationship before that? Oh God, oh my God. Yeah. So it's very similar. It's very kind of odd. It's very similar to Jeff's card, kind of. But this is unhitching your trailer and being able to drive more freely without pulling a trailer. And that trailer is the old the monster of being hurt, the monster of the fear of being hurt in any way, shape, or form. Wow, that's really powerful. So let it go. All right, Kat, Jared, and then we got Mia and Tiffany. All right, Kat. Anywhere. Give me a minute here. You know how people can be surrounded by people but feel very alone? It's a survival mechanism. It's like a detachment. To help you take some time. This light is coming from inside this person. It's coming from the inside out. It works as a beacon for other souls that may have their light dimmed. So anytime, Kat, that you're feeling where you're kind of feeling alone, that's an indication of literally go be alone for even a couple of hours or maybe a day. Go be alone. Because these energies can come in to try to put your light out, just sometimes life. And so take some time for yourself, but picture this light growing and growing and growing. And if you want to see it channeling through you, but growing this light all around you and outwardly, that's what you get the benefit of. It's like rekindling your light, taking some downtime. And I'm getting this with Marilyn Pitts as well. Okay. And we have Marilyn and Abby on here too.
Yes, oh yeah.
Okay.
No, no, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Jared, and then we'll do Marilyn and Abby because I know it's late there. It's not so much, Jared, the destination as it's the journey getting there. So please take a few minutes to journal. And Kat, I'm gonna tell you this too, is to take a few minutes a day to simply journal. Write down, and then if you want to share it with Jared, if you want to share it with Kat, you don't have to, but you're needing to write it down so that you can. We don't need to do anything. I would highly suggest you writing it down. And anywhere where you have believed that you've taken a wrong turn, or what is that term they go, oh, things have really gone south? No. Are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate anything around anything going south? It's just a matter of a change of direction. Pilots do that all the time. When there's storms coming, you're a passenger. You can't see the radar. You're not in the pilot seat. But you kind of feel the plane turn, and you're going to be maybe 20 or 30 minutes late to your destination. You don't know that you've been through a storm unless the pilot tells you, or that they're doing something to avoid the storm. This is the universe it's like trusting, Jared and Kat, it's like trusting the flow. It's like being adamant about, well, you know, I-10, right? I-10 goes across the southern part of the United States. Well, I've got to stay on I-10. Well, if there's a snowstorm or there's a terrible accident and traffic is backed up for miles, are you still going to force yourself to stay on I-10, or are you going to look at alternatives? What are some side roads? What are some side highways that you can take? This is that universe taking care of you. This is the traveling card. You're moving toward a destination. It's going to be accomplished, but how you get there is not the way you expect. All right, my dear Mia. Oh, let's go to Abby and Marilyn. Sorry. They were on first.
Yeah, that's good.
And they're on the East Coast, but I'll get right to you, Mia. Hold on. Abby and Marilyn are in South Carolina, and they're actually camping. So they've got intermittent internet. So Marilyn, what does the term without guile means? Without guile. Free of guile. Free of guile. Hang on, Marilyn. We're looking this up. Free of guile. So free of guile. So guile means deceitful cunning, duplicity, a war that called for guile rather than firepower, obsolete, trick. So guile is the quality of being good at deceiving people in a clever way. So what I got with this is free of guile. Now, when you're free of guile, and you come across someone who is not free of guile. They're threatened by you. They can accuse you even of being deceitful or hurtful, and that you're simply acting as a mirror for these people that are accusing you in any way, shape, or form of being deceitful or whatever. It's actually them. It has nothing to do with you. But one of your superpowers is exposing deceit, exposing lies. And you don't give money to a drug addict. You just don't. You don't give energy to someone that is going to accuse you of it or misuse it. There were masters. This one gentleman, he traveled weeks to get to this master in India, and he was a very prominent individual. And he walked up for his appointment with the master. The master looked at him and turned around and walked away. Wouldn't even give him any time of day. About 6 years ago, this woman wanted me to read for her sister. I said no. She's not ready. Well, I didn't know that my client had told her sister that I had said that she wasn't ready. And it really ticked her off, Marilyn. I didn't know that she didn't let me know that she knew that I knew. But years later, the sister, my client, called me and said, "Hey, my sister would like a reading." I went, "Okay, she's ready." And during that reading, when I finally gave the reading to this sister, she said, "That fired me up to make the changes that I needed to make, because I knew exactly why you did not want to read for me." So I hope you're picking up what I'm laying down here, Marilyn. It's like being free of guilt about not helping people that are not ready or willing. Okay. All right, my dear Abby. Oh, and this goes, and Mia, this goes for you. I'm kind of tying it into Mia too. So, Abby, camping, this is so perfect for you. You do so well when you have more time with yourself, or you have more time quiet, away from when you're in nature. This is an awareness. These are more and more awarenesses. Like, I'm so proud of you for stopping the wreath making business. Not because I didn't like the wreaths, I thought they were awesome. But it's you moving toward what's good for you. This is your awareness growing. And in any way, shape, or form, letting go of all regrets or perceived losses. Any perceived loss, only look at your gains. And there's something with you being in nature this time that you're going to get these revelations. And Marilyn, and talk with Marilyn about this, because she'll help you process a lot of this, as well as you helping her. But this is for you right now, for this reading, for tonight, and for the next few days ahead. This is what's really important for you, is these increasing awarenesses and ahas. You can keep them to yourself or with Marilyn, but because other people aren't necessarily ready for them. But these awarenesses change us internally. So even though we're not verbally talking about our awarenesses, people can feel them. They can feel the changes. When we change energetically, which is what the awarenesses do for us, it then changes the world. Okay, who's ready?
Yeah, Mia and then
All right, Mia, here we go. All right, Mia. This is you moving into a completely new field where you're actually working more for yourself. And anywhere with where you're working, or anywhere in your family where people are trying to make you wrong or bad, or you're not doing enough, or you should be producing more, blah, 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 you're done playing monsters with the neighborhood kids, Mia. Maybe it's time for you to have a nice little tea party. Change up the game. This is way less monsters chasing you or trying to get you, or this is, so when Laurel came to visit us this weekend, we're driving down Lake Pleasant, and I know you commented on this. We're driving down this road. It's paved, but it was up above Lake Pleasant, so it wasn't a main highway at all. And there was this donkey just kind of moseying along on speed, and I slowed down, I matched its speed, and I started talking to it. And it kind of looks at me and it starts to come over to the truck, and then I was afraid, oh, no. I want you to stay on that side of the road, because it kind of knew it wasn't in the middle of the road. It was on the side of the road, so the oncoming cars would see it. Smart donkey. But my point of telling you this story, Mia, is this is Snow White. This is where things are coming for you and toward you, and all you need to do is sit quietly in the woods, and the deer and the bluebirds and the squirrels and the donkeys, things will start coming for you rather than you pursuing and chasing and chasing and chasing, or running and running and running and something chasing you. This is innocence. This is innocence. It's allowing these things to come to you, and they're brilliant. They're beautiful. Okay, Tiffany, here we go. Dr. T is in the house. Tiffany is a doctor, amazing, amazing woman. All right, Tiffany, you're extremely educated. You're a doctor. You're one of the smartest women I know. But for centuries, people really believed the earth was flat. I don't know, there's hundreds of cases. Pregnant women always eat pickles and ice cream. There's a lot of the facts that we know are illusion. Even the physical world around us is all really, they call it Maya, they call it illusion. And things shift and they change. And things are shifting big time to where you're opening up to what you viewed one day as solid or important, as maybe not so solid, as maybe not so important. This is you moving and not thinking you're going crazy. When you really move toward this spiritual realm, I'm looking at everybody on the show, pretty much every one of you have had inexplicable things happen that you want to try to define it, and there's no definition to it. There's no scientific definition. What was the one guy that said miracles or is just undiscovered science?
Magic and science.
Oh, yeah, magic and science. That's it. Can you look that quote up?
Yeah, I think that was a Disney movie. Yeah.
Yeah, if you could look that up. So the point, Kenan will look this up. It's like magic is simply undiscovered science. Is basically the idea behind this. This is you moving. This is getting. This is like Ford, who was one of the inventors of the cars. He wouldn't have invented the car if he didn't have a bigger vision as to where that would go or what that would do for people. This is you moving past the horse ranchers who raised horses, who bred horses, who had a horse industry. This is you moving past all of those horses' asses and coming into the car.
Arthur C. Clarke, by the way.
Arthur C. Clarke said, okay, Tiff, you listen, any sufficiently advanced knowledge is indistinguishable from magic. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, thank you. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So you're moving more into the magic realms. I don't care how you term it, but inexplicable things. One is your daughter in butterflies, or just this, the butterfly transformation. It's like the butterfly, like I was talking earlier about Jeff, having the motto of a dragon, or a logo of a dragon. This is you flying. It's fantastic. It really is fantastic. Okay, Freya, thank you for being here again. So I'm going to go, this is a roundabout, this is full circle. So Freya, you've got the stress card. And we talked about the group card, which was the beginning of the reading tonight, which is the Star Powers Transmission, Recall, and Mission, is any stress that you're creating, look at why you're creating it. We talked about in the beginning, I'll round it back full circle, where children play games, they're like monsters, right? Monsters chase. They pretend that monsters are chasing them, and they scream and they run and they jump but they're playing. We still do that as adults. We create our own monsters, which then create stress, which actually has a physical detrimental effect on the body. This is letting go of the stress and letting go of the monkeys in any way, shape, or form trying to solve other people's problems. You didn't do your children's homework. You don't do kids' homework. If kids come to you and ask you to help them with their homework, you can give them guidance, but you don't do their homework for them. Anywhere, Freya, where you have done or are doing anyone or anyone's homework, are you willing to release, destroy, uncreate all of that now to get your energy back. There we go. Great show. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions, you can call me, text me, message me. But we'll do this again Wednesday night. Great love to all of you.